Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name is Dan, the voice behind ThatKaitoDan, and welcome to my reaction to the death battle between Zuko and Shoto Todoroki. But before we get started, as always, please make sure you're watching this episode first through roosterteeth.com to support the show and the amazing people behind it. It is the battle of the fire-powered and fire-scarred people with some major daddy issues. Yeah, this has been one that I've been very excited for, and a lot of people have already been comparing these two pretty much ever since My Hero Academia started to catch like its big win that it did. Obviously they share a lot in common, both on a surface level with their scars, their fire powers, and the fact that they are very skilled fighters, and also underneath mentally and emotionally. Obviously the aforementioned poor upbringing and abuse that they've suffered from their fathers in different ways, how they've had a lot of self-doubts, and how they've had to be how they've had to go through adversity and a lot of rebuilding through their actions and the help of others to make them into the people that they are now. So they've been compared to each other ever since Shoto Todoroki stepped into the spotlight and when My Hero Academia first gained popularity. So yeah, it's been compared by a lot of fans on both sides, and thankfully I am a fan of both Avatar and My Hero Academia, so I'm very familiar with both the characters and their skills, so I can have a better gauge now of who I think is going to win this. In terms of Zuko, I think he's probably going to be the better fighter in terms of technique, because both of these two have been trained ever since they were kids to become a better Fire Lord or a better hero. So they've been trained from a young age and they got a lot of experience because of that. But Zuko, I think, has the benefit of being trained with more technique, both from his father and from Uncle Iroh. He's learned more about like the actual the style and like the actual like inner workings of bringing out the best firebending that you can. And he's also got the extra benefit of the lightning attack. So even though he's not got an ice power to help him out like Shoto does, he does have a secondary element to count on. And he also has the other benefit of already having to go up against other elemental fighters. He's had to go up against waterbenders aplenty, which is the biggest weakness of the Fire Nation. He's gone through earthbenders, and of course he's gone through airbenders, mostly through Aang. And of course he's multi-elemental, so he's already experienced dealing with not just fire powers in terms of firebenders, but also many other elements, so he could be able to match wits with Shoto and both his fire and ice powers. And that is probably going to be Shoto's ace in the hole, the fact that he can count on ice to help him out, not just in terms of regulating his temperature, so he's able to keep on fighting, keep on chugging out fire attacks, but also to try and quell any fire from Zuko, depending on just how strong and how dense the ice that he makes is, which, based on the sports festival alone and some of his later moves, it's quite an incredible amount of power that he can get from both his ice and his firepower. And I think that's where his training comes in from his father, Endeavor, where I think he was trained to just amplify his raw power and just keep on giving out the strongest attack versus having attacks and moves with more of a technique style. So I think they will clash very well together, but in terms of who I think is going to win, it's going to be close. I could easily see either side winning, but I'm going to go with Zuko because I think his technique is going to give him more flexibility in terms of like how he's able to think on the fly and how he's able to adapt to all the various attacks that Shoto's going to dish out. The only thing that would scare me on that prediction is just how well Shoto's ice can handle up against Zuko's fire. But I am going to go with Zuko just because I think he's probably going to have the better experience to help him out. He's also had the dexterity to go up against all kinds of different elements. And I think he is able to adapt on the fly more, while Shoto's probably still... the fact that My Hero Academia is still ongoing versus Avatar, where even though there's ongoing stuff in the comics, it's kind of a shut case. So I think that Zuko has more than enough in his arsenal already by this point that I think he would be able to overcome Shoto. But the only way to find out is to watch the episode. So let's get into it, shall we? Count it down with me. 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Death battle time. And sudden Spike Spiegel.
You mean like you?
Yeah, it is a common thing.
I'm not an anime character. Zuko, the firebending hunter of the Avatar, the Last Airbender.
And Shoto Todoroki, the prodigal son of fire and ice from My Hero Academia.
He's Wiz and I'm Boomstick.
And it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor,
Where's,
and skills to find out who would win.
What's his name? Oh, they're doing a pixel fight for it. Cool. But where's Dummy? The, orb thing from last time.
Air. The 4 elemental nations once coexisted peacefully.
Then everything changed when the Fire Nation attacked. You gotta get that opening quip in there somehow.
The whole world.
And 100 years later, the equally powerful Master of Fire, Ozai, continued that
Voiced by Mark Hamill, the awesome voice. And then Azula, Greta Lee's, I think, was her voice, and she was fantastic. Both the voice and Azula.
Even though he did clearly favor her, poor little Zuko got screwed over from
Yeah, the entire family of the Fire Nation, the Fire Lord, is an ugly mess.
saying anything to me.
Right. Well, despite this, Zuko was desperate to prove himself.
Tea shop assistant.
But he screwed up by talking out a turn in a big boy meeting. So naturally, his dad...
Yeah, and then things went south from there.
importance of respecting others.
Nope.
Oh wait, just kidding. He burned his frickin' face off.
Yeah, that is a very harsh lesson.
Zuko would hunt down the elusive Avatar, the one threat to his nation's rule, to
restore his honor!
Which is
There you go.
a nice way of saying he was banished so he could never come back. Just like my dad didn't.
It's amazing to think of the growth that he went through, from being the hunter of the Avatar to being one of his strongest allies.
Strong enough to shatter metal chains with a kick. He's super skilled with martial arts.
Yeah, again, he's a quality fighter.
Firebender, Zuko harnesses the light of the sun to summon flames from thin air.
But I don't think that's going to play into it much. Just in terms of like the regular sun, not like anything like the Day of Black Sun.
Swirling water around, tossing a few rocks, or farting hot air all the time, I would definitely go with firebending.
I would probably be a firebender too, just because I like that it's the power side, but also like the background element, and like how it's a life-giving element as well as an attacking force.
With fire? Awesome. How does that even work?
Well, for
Propulsion, really.
an equal and opposite
Yeah.
reaction. Newton's third law. By creating a rapid series of explosions an inch or so away from the palm, the air in between the hand and fire is launched toward the user.
It's very versatile for a move that most would just the same. It's just
about creating
out,
fire.
and there you go.
It's about creating a bunch of it. So
Exactly.
Zuko can make large, long-lasting
That was an awesome fight in the finale there against Azula.
That stuff's hot, you know.
Yeah, it's fire. You know,
Duh.
I actually rigged up my arm to replicate the technique of fire.
And there's Dummy.
Another test. How thrilling.
Now, this isn't a
I like his very blunt force there.
Firebenders fuel their flames with their own
Yeah,
breath.
it's
And using
all
it
about
requires
breathing.
a fierce understanding of martial arts.
What are you trying to do, the Macarena?
Zuko's favorite form, the dancing dragon.
Hey,
fire
Macarena,
from
hi.
Shaolin Kung Fu.
That's a Chinese martial art.
And that's another thing I liked about the series as well, is like it's actually based on proper fighting styles.
Mix of speed and strength.
Like this. Whoa!
Why?
It's nice to see the Boomstick still gets his own licks in after, even with Dummy being around.
Through a cast iron door hot. This would need to be over 1200 degrees Celsius.
Very hot. Speaking of hot, I'm sweating right now, but I'm not having the AC on just because I don't want to get picked up on the mic right now. God damn that meme.
That's like the thickest wall I've ever seen. Second only to the emotional walls between me and my dad.
Even without
We get a bit of a storyline here with Boomstick and his dad.
has more than enough firepower to level
Survived 3 weeks without sustenance. Defeated Zhao, Azula, and the Red Lotus. Yeah, this could be a gambit in his arsenal as well.
Suck it, Dad. Oh shoot, wait, did he just shoot his dad with lightning?
And he don't need to worry about, like, getting it on him. He can create his own. That's another trick.
The Avatar himself, he joined the heroes on a new journey, one of self-discovery.
Yeah, turns out he didn't need his dad's approval after all. He just needed to approve himself. Now that's
Overcoming his self-doubts. And fantastic character arc for him.
Redemption arc. And now that he's the Fire Daddy, Lord, Fire
But-
Lord,
but-
his honor keeps...
Fire Daddy.
Are you crushing on Zuko?
I think he might be.
No.
Just makes me think of Ironwood and Iron Daddy.
Everybody does.
Hello, Zuko.
Zuko here. Love Dante Basco. Fantastic voice for Zuko.
Welcome to a world
Okay, so it's up to Shoto now.
where more than 80% of the population...
Aizawa, Bakugo, Maigo Araraka, and Deku.
Because everyone loves to game a system, there's a superhero leaderboard. At the
Right.
very top of it stands the ultimate hero.
All Might.
All Might.
All Might's feats and reputation...
Got a few My Hero figures up down across the poster.
That is, everyone except the hero perpetually stuck at rank number 2.
Mr. Endeavor.
He vowed to surpass All Might, but his literal firepower was just never enough.
But if he couldn't do it himself, he would vicariously through his own heir. Thus, he made
Boy, yeah.
a quirk marriage.
Basically, he paid a family off to get a wife with an ice quirk. And
It's very, like, ugly stuff, which shows that, like, there's a lot of darker sides to heroes, not just the villains. There's some very twisted people in the hero lineup.
He was looking for Shoto Todoroki.
Now, this fight against Deku was fantastic.
side's ice like his mom, and left side's fire like his dad.
Endeavor quickly separated young Todoroki from his supposedly lesser siblings, ruthlessly training him to become the
Yeah,
most powerful
this was ugly to learn, but
Surprise! Things
it was an emotional stuff going on as well.
Shoto's
And
mom
then
was
this.
totally insane until she broke.
I can't. It's a shame that it happened, and you can't really hate
It reminded her
Shoto's mum for doing that. It's like she just emotionally broke down. She tried so hard to last through it, but
Fortunately, Todoroki
it was just a lot to take in. It's understandable to snap.
attended UA High School, a hero academy, and worked to use his power for good.
But just
Oh god, yeah, I forgot about his original outfit, the white overalls.
the man being
Definitely better with the blue, I think.
dead over there. Anyone else notice his facial hair is made of fire? How's that work?
Better than mine at the moment.
Todoroki can summon intense
One's Justice game. I do want to check out the fighting games, even if it is a bit bare bones, I hear.
About overkill. And like a good edgy teen, Shoto named this super iceberg something badass.
This was awesome.
Ice
Yeah.
wall.
And it came into play, I think, in the fight to rescue Bakugo as well.
Create sheets
That
of
gave the
ice to
ramp.
sit on Or propel himself forward as if riding a Heeley. While he can't manipulate the ice after he's launched it, he has extremely precise control over its initial release. He can even freeze opponents so thoroughly that they are frozen both inside and out, effortlessly causing necrosis and shattering body parts.
It worked damn effective in the recent movie, I hear.
Talk about having a cold shoulder.
I haven't been able to see it just yet because I've been waiting for the dub and a home release so I can actually watch it.
Not immune.
Here I am. Guess I'll die.
Oh, I won't be needing
I don't know, he lit a boomstick last time.
Ingesting too much ice from his right side will cause his body temperature to drop until
So he
falls
needs to
unconscious.
balance and regulate his temperature on both sides.
Freezing an entire building before side effects even start to show up. So it's not off. Why'd you even make this stupid robot?
That's why Endeavor chose to mix ice with fire. See, he had the same power as his
yeah.
own fire quirk, but with cold and hot combined, they could
And
counter each
much to
other
the Horikoshi's credit, he's able to write so far a really good redemption arc so far for Endeavor to try and turn himself to make up for his actions. He's still got a long way to go, but He's turned a good corner. That was fantastic, that moment there.
While he's much less proficient with fire, given his lack of experience with it, this half of his quirk is identical to Endeavor's. His fire is hot enough to melt Tetsu, whose body can turn to steel, which means it can reach temperatures over 1600 degrees.
Jeez, I think that is more than Zuko, so that's interesting.
To block off areas and use his Evil Dead signature technique, flash fire.
Flash fire is a method.
He's also learned,
temperatures before releasing it.
I think he's learned Prominence Burn as well, if I can recall correctly. That was an awesome fight as well, the fight against the High End.
Fire and ice combined put both quirks at their best. Shoto's one of the best in his class, taking hits from a tank like Deku, fighting top-tier foes like Sting.
So he can take a punch as well, so even with Zuko's fighting style, like actual fights and kicks, he should be able to hold his own there, so again, this could go either way.
Reading and setting traps for his opponents in the blink of an eye.
And after all that craziness, he finally patched things up with his mom, and somehow even inspired his dad to try and be
again, it's like he's on a good path to try and make up for his actions. Get ready for a lot of good stuff in the upcoming anime season.
Well on his way to becoming a successful hero, Shoto Todoroki no longer fights in spite of his father, but for himself and the sake of others.
Yeah, I'm not as confident with my prediction as I have been in the past for other ones, but I'm still gonna stick with Zuko just because I think he's got the experience in his bag. Let's see how it goes down. It should be fun either way. Is that Dante Basco? Just from his grunts, it sounds like him. It could just be archived audio.
You'll pay for that.
No way. I'm not the bad guy here.
Wait a minute, that is Dante!
Actions say otherwise.
That's definitely not archive audio.
Fire, like my father.
Oh boy. Keep your cool, Todoroki. Is that Dante?
What's the matter? Melting under pressure?
That is Dante! They actually got in Dante Basco! Is that like the first time they've actually been able to keep the original voice even with doing new material for him?
He's just like me.
This is cool. I'm liking this already just because of Dante. Jeez, they're already destroying everything around them. Oh boy. Now the ice comes into play. Come on, Zuko. I want to be 2 for 2 in terms of the second half predictions. He's getting, pardon the pun, heated. As the fires together are matching up well. It's just a case of like what can oh god. Couldn't resist, could you? You couldn't resist it.
I intended to finish you with fire. You could obviously block it, but not this.
I don't think this is it. Not this early. Yep, he's still got enough fire in the tank. So he can get through that huge heaven-piercing, like, wall, I think it was, or heaven-piercing spike, something like that.
How much power you have. I know who I am.
It's crazy that they still got Dante in this. You don't usually get the original actors. Even further beyond. Plus Ultra, baby! This is gonna be the decider. Uh-oh, that's not good. Oh, that's not good at all. Come on. He can still use it from his breath.
I am the Fire Lord.
Come on, Zuko.
For my honor.
Still got the honor line in there. Yeah. I don't think that's gonna be an. Oh, the move for the fight against Deku. That's cool how they managed to adapt that. I'm not liking my odds. No. I've lost. Damn it. I'm 1 for 1 in predictions in the second half of the season. Whew, boy.
Apologies.
Damn, that was a cool fight. They were so evenly matched.
Talk about cool as hell. That was epic.
That was epic. He was crushing on Zuko.
Solid advantages over
Can't blame him.
Zuko's martial arts, athleticism and lightning-fast reflexes meant that if he could get close to Todoroki, he could likely end the fight pretty quick.
But Shoto's no slouch. The guy may be better at long range, but he's been in scraps before. Like with the super fast, super deadly hero killer.
That's true, and Stain is quick as all hell.
Popping up everywhere and his own super sliding and boosting skills, Shoto made it hard for Zuko to get close for long.
Plus, the speed difference wasn't all that drastic. Todoroki's
Oh, really?
student Tokoyami's Dark Shadow blocked Kaminari's electricity after it had been fired. Quirks are not magic.
Right,
There
okay.
are very few ways for electricity to travel through the air. Lightning is essentially an ionized path that electricity travels through. Kaminari's quirk must use the same method.
Dark Shadow blocked Kaminari, Bakugo dodged Dark Shadow, and Todoroki can match.
Right, I was starting to think, how does this connect to Shoto? But then, yeah, the chain of events through the tournament.
Control over fire. Todoroki could easily repel his firebending with his own flames, not to mention the clear difference in temperature. Zuko may be skilled with fire, but he's not immune to it, nor did he have any reliable counter for fast and massive ice attacks.
Yeah.
You even need to bust out the calculator for this one, Wiz. That stadium is circled by a 4-kilometer track. That's huge. And the edgy ice wall covered almost half of it in less than a second.
And even Bakugo, with like his incredible amount of power, he was only able to like blast a small hole.
But not instantly when it comes to gigantic
Yes, right there. He had to go through a few times and he couldn't destroy all of it.
temperatures. Sure, Zuko's melted through ice prisons before, but only ones where he could still move or at least breathe. Remember, firebending requires breath and movement. When Azula was trapped in an ice prison so compact she couldn't move or breathe, she was helpless.
That's a good point.
Like, Shoto could just freeze over Zuko's insides anyway. No way he would survive in that.
Zuko might have been an
Yeah, so yeah,
tender and adorable
it was close, but it seems like it's a very logical explanation for this one as well.
just too much to handle.
Zuko aimed for success, but his opponent Shoto put him on ice.
Wah, wah.
The winner, Shoto Todoroki.
Okay, I lost, but fair result. And again, it was a fantastic, evenly matched contest. But let's see who is in the next one. Also, it was fantastic. They got Dante in this. What's next? Oh, Flash against Sonic. Archie Sonic. Oh, okay. That's actually interesting. The fact that it's strictly the Archie comic Sonic, because yeah, actually that makes sense because they are kind of different versions. Like the game Sonic and even like Sonic normally, and then Sonic Boom and stuff like that. Different kinds of Sonic. And now that the Archie comics have stopped for reasons I won't go into, and they now moved on to the, I believe it's the IDW version of Sonic, the Archie comic Sonic is complete. It's his own character, and there's a lot that goes down in the Archie comics that makes it a very very interesting contest now between him and, it looks like it was Wally West Flash. So that's going to be cool. That's going to be more of a battle of speed versus this one, where it was more a match of raw power and technique. So yeah, I lost. I'm 1-for-1 in terms of the second half of the season, but I really enjoyed this one. Again, for a lot of it, it's very evenly matched, and like they were saying, like they both countered each other relatively well, but then when we get to the ice, it was too much for Zuko. And it was a fantastic fight to watch in terms of like the animation, great stuff with the pixel stuff. The fact that they got Dante Basco in this, again, is that like the first time they've had the original voice in to do new material for the fight, not just in terms of like archive audio? If so, that's pretty cool, and it makes sense because Dante has been in other Rooster Teeth works before. He's been in Camp. He's appeared like on screen for like podcasts and stuff like that. We've not got him in Ruby yet. Maybe in the future we will. That would be cool. But yeah, it was cool that we got Dante in for this. Fantastic way to get a little bit more extra flavor to this fight. The voice was Shoto was good as well. Whoever that was. I don't think it was anyone I'm familiar with. So yeah, in terms of like the visuals, awesome. The result, understandable. And yeah, I really enjoyed it. This made up for one of the fights that a lot of people have been making even before this fight was announced, and I really enjoyed it. But let me know what you guys thought about this fight and my reaction in the comments down below. And while you're at it, hit the subscribe and bell buttons and tick the notification box to make sure you get every new video from me as they drop. And follow me on Twitter at ThatKaitoDan for more on anything to do with future reactions, updates to the channel, and more. But until next time, have a good day or good night, and peace out.